What's up, Bo? It's y'all here. Today I'm going to be opening up this compost pile that I created 1,460 days ago, which is basically exactly 4 years ago. This is an experiment that I wanted to do, a set it and forget it type of composting. So I'm really excited to figure out, is there any good compost or soil in here that I can use for my garden? If you want to jump straight to me opening up this compost bin, I have timestamps down below. But real quick, before we do that, I want to show you some of my other composting systems. I'm going to go over what I have learned since creating that compost, because whenever I did that compost pile just in the pallets, all we had then was just rabbits and chickens. But since I created that compost pile out of pallets, we've gotten cows and pigs, which put out so much manure, and we've also gotten the tractor, which helps us turn and create more better compost. All of this, these are big giant piles, or at least they were. They've broken down a little bit. That is a compost pile. This is a compost pile. This is a compost pile. Compost. And then this one right here is my new experiment that I'll do in another video. But basically you just try to create air all around it, and I didn't do it correctly because it was my lazy way of composting, but I'm excited to see what this is going to do in a future video. What this is allowing us to do is create soil, and what this at one point was just cow poop and some bedding, like some wood chips, and I was able to turn it. Oh my goodness, it smells phenomenal. I don't know if you can see in here, there is texture. There's like these little granules. So there is life in this. This is soil. We can plant whatever we want in this, and it is going to grow awesome. We can turn this compost into compost tea. And the good thing is, like, it's warm in there. It's just perfect soil. So that pile is great dirt. The chickens got over on this one, and because this is the freshest pile that we have, and I need to get the tractor in and pile it back up, I'm not going to put my hand in here because this is a lot of cow poop, and I don't want to put my hand in cow poop. Now this one right here, this is that medium. This is an active, working, steady compost pile. So this, if I dive into this guy, I might find some poop, but it is turning into dirt. The chickens have gotten a little bit, but you're gonna actually see some of the ryegrass, and some of these oak trees are already starting to sprout in here because it's starting to break down. It is a steady heat, so it's about 80 degrees in there. So I definitely need to turn this so that all the top layer goes into the middle and we just turn the compost pile. But whenever I first moved to this property, I didn't have a tractor, and I wanted to just see, could I create a lazy way of composting? Real quick, before we open this up, I want to give you a prediction about what I think is going to happen. I'm pretty sure that when I start opening this up, it's going to be super duper dry, and there's going to be lots of fire ants. So I'm going to be aware that most likely there's going to be fire ants all over here. And since we did this, I've learned a lot about this area of Texas. You have to keep a compost pile very moist, and you have to turn it often. Otherwise, here in Texas, it is going to get just infested with fire ants in a heartbeat. Oh, there it is. Right away. My goodness. That's exactly what I was thinking. Wow. I didn't even have, my goodness gracious. I didn't even have to do a thing. And I don't know if there's much I can do after this also, because that is a giant, wow. And you see, none of that cardboard, none of that like pine shavings have really broken down, because this is not an active compost pile. This is just, this is just a big old fire ant bed. All right, so I'm gonna see
if my chickens want anything to do with this. I don't want them to get killed, but I don't think they're gonna want anything in here. They don't want it either.
So what did I learn? I learned that if you're in Central Texas, really anywhere in Texas where it's a dry climate and you have fire ants, you have to do an active compost pile. You cannot do a set it and forget it. You need to be able to turn that compost often. Otherwise, the ants will come in. The fire ants are gonna come in there. So it's the turning it that disturbs them, and it keeps that compost nice and hot. And you have to you also have to keep it wet. So maybe what I'll do is I'll water this a little bit and make it an annoying environment for them. Oh, fire ant right on me. If I make this environment annoying for them, maybe they can move on so that I can get in there and clean that up. So bummer that this is what it is, but that's what happens whenever you leave a compost pile for too long here in Central Texas. Okay, if you like this video, check out that how to kill fire ants video. I'll put that right up there.